fast food restaurant. There was a sister that worked there also. Quite often during breaks or after work during closing, she would take the opportunities to witness to me informally. I was always interested in talking about the Bible, and we had a lot of interesting conversations. At one point, she placed the Live Forever book with me. I read the whole thing straight through in just a matter of a few days. I couldn't believe the things I learned in this book in a short period of time that I had never learned in all my years at a Baptist church. Seeing that I had so much interest, she invited me to attend their meetings. Then I started to get a little nervous. It was one thing to talk about their beliefs at break, but to actually go to their meetings? I mean, these were the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'd always heard bad things about them. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So being a little nervous, but I still wanted to go, I invited a friend of mine to go along with me. This was someone that went to college with me. I knew that he too had an interest in the Bible, and he accepted the offer to go. I remember went to that first meeting and to all the meetings for a couple of weeks. And I really liked what I was hearing. And I think at the time, I really knew it was the truth. But I was going to college full-time, I was working full-time, I had some other things in my life that were pulling me away. I really didn't appreciate the value of what I was learning, so I stopped attending. It wasn't until about a couple of years later that I once again came into contact with the Witnesses, was invited to go back to the meetings, was offered a Bible study, and remembering the things I had learned before, I readily accepted, and a few months later I was baptized.
Very interesting. But whatever happened to that friend of yours that accompanied you to the Kingdom Hall that first time?
Well, Brother Sanchez, why don't you ask him? He's standing right here beside me on the platform.
Thank you, Brother Holman. Now, Brother Scott Howard is a ministerial servant with the Matthews, North Carolina congregation. Brother Howard, please tell us how your life was affected by the informal introduction to the truth.
Well, Brother Sanchez, as Brother Holman just mentioned, I was a friend that accompanied him to the first meeting at the Kingdom Hall. It was a Tuesday night meeting in which we were studying the book You Can Live Forever on Paradise on Earth. And it was really the most interesting Bible-based material that I ever heard. So I asked for a copy of the book, and I easily read the book within the first week, and then arranged for a Bible study.
Very good. Did you and Brother Holman begin studying together at this time?
No, Brother Holman had some circumstances that were happening in his life at the time. He really didn't have time for it, so he didn't pursue it right then.
Well, were you sharing these things that you were learning with anyone else?
Well, I knew that the things that I was learning that my mom and dad would be very interested in. So I started a study right after I'd started studying at home with my mother. And we were studying out the Live Forever book also. But to my surprise, as time went along and we were studying in the book, I noticed that my father was listening in on the study. And then each week he would choose a chair that would be closer and closer to the table that we were studying at. And finally the day came, he was sitting at the table with us. And I asked him one week to read a paragraph, but he declined. He said he didn't have his reading glasses with him. The very next week, he had his glasses, and he was prepared then.
Very good. This must have been very exciting for you. What happened next?
Well, I invited my mom and dad, and even my brother, to attend a memorial that was coming up. And they all attended. And my dad was so impressed by this first Bible-based talk that he had ever heard, really, that he even directed my brother to continue to come to the Kingdom Hall.
Well, Brother Howard, what's been the results of this informal witnessing?
Well, I was baptized at the summer convention of that year. I'm happy to say that all three members of my immediate family were baptized at the spring assembly the following year after that.
That's wonderful news, Brother Howard. Now, I understand there's another interesting link with you and Brother Holman. Would you please tell us about that?
Well, I kept in close contact with Brother Holman, and after a couple years had passed, I knew that his circumstances had suddenly changed, and I let just a little bit of time wait, and then I contacted him with the truth and offered him a home Bible study, and he accepted that home Bible study, came back to the meetings, and progressed to baptism very swiftly.
So if I understand this correctly, then he introduced you to the truth, and then you reintroduced the truth to him.
Yes, that's right, Brother Sanchez.
Well, Brother Howard, may I ask you, what loving advice would you like to share with the brothers here today regarding informal witnessing?
Well, my parents had talked to the witnesses before at the door when they come to the door, but they really hadn't paid much attention to them, not knowing them. But due to our family relationship, they were able to listen to me. And also, I encourage all of you here today to take part in informal witnessing, because you may come in contact with those that would listen to you but wouldn't listen to people that might just come to their door. And also as a result of that informal witness, myself and my family came into truth, and we may not have done that if it were not for informal witnessing.
Thank you very much, Brother Howard. Brother Holman, maybe we could go back to you. When you think back to the sister that was your co-worker there in the restaurant, what was it about her that prompted you to listen to her?
Looking back on it, Brother Sanchez, I believe it was her fine Christian conduct and her firm stance in her beliefs. For example, when the holidays came around, she never held back from explaining her reasons for not celebrating, and her reasons always made perfect sense. She was very honest in everything she did. She never took part in the off-color jokes or the bad language. As a result, I had a lot of respect for her as a person.
So I guess I could say you were impressed by her?
You could say that, so much so that I later married her.
So, Brother Holman, I guess I could also say that you truly appreciate the value of informal witnessing.
I certainly do. In fact, if it weren't for informal witnessing, I seriously doubt I would be in the truth today. My family was the type that never opened the door when the witnesses came by, and I'm sure I would have continued in that same tradition. But having the chance to speak to someone informally, someone that I knew and respected, helped me to get past those preconceived notions and really listen to their message.
Thank you, Brother Holman. As a result of these opportunities to provide an informal witness, seeds were planted. These seeds resulted in 9 newly baptized Christian witnesses of Jehovah. So friends, let us always take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself to plant those seeds by informal witnessing, whether it's at work, at school, or at play. Because as the Apostle Paul stated at 1 Corinthians 3:6, I planted, Apollos watered, but God kept making it grow. May we all be encouraged by these fine experiences to plant and water these seeds through informal witnessing, and we pray that Jehovah will keep making them grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much for